I'm allergic to the idea of best practices. Like the moment you call a practice best, you've created an illusion that you're done. And the moment, like think about pre-COVID, like a lot of companies had really, what they thought were effective models for collaboration. And all of a sudden, their best practices are not feasible because everybody's working remotely. And they've got to throw that out the window and look for better practices for an evolved world. So I think those are the things I worry about most with early success. I think that one of the things I would love to see more people do when it comes to reaching potential is to figure out, what does my failure budget look like? So I'll tell you my experience on this. It started, I wrote a first book, gave a TED Talk, and pretty soon felt like I was spending 80% of my time saying things I already knew. And I was getting typecast. I'm like, I'm not learning and growing, but I'm also not, I don't feel like I'm contributing new knowledge to the world. What am I gonna do about that? And 2018 rolls around and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start a podcast, and that will be my learning mechanism. And I didn't know if it was gonna work. I didn't know how the medium would work for me. I didn't know if people were gonna wanna listen to my voice. I certainly don't. Maybe Morgan Freeman likes the sound of his own voice.
I like listening to your podcast.
Well, thank you. I also enjoy listening to yours, but I think everybody hates the sound of their voice. I just wasn't sure for a lot of reasons whether it was gonna work. And then I thought about it and I realized, well, all of the pivotal moments in my career have come from taking a risk. And I thought that I needed to build the confidence in order to do it. And I was reflecting on goal setting research as one does, and realized, like the confidence is gonna come through doing it. And so let me try it. And I guess what I took away was, if I never fail, it means I'm not challenging myself. I'm not embracing discomfort. I'm not being enough of an imperfectionist. So I actually set a goal that I would start at least one project every year that didn't succeed. And let's be clear, I'm not aiming for failure. What I'm doing is creating an acceptable zone of failure to know that that's gonna motivate some risk taking and some experimentation and hopefully some growth. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to do this in their lives, especially if you have a super demanding boss. But I think we're all better off from a growth and potential standpoint if we've got, if you succeed on 90% of your projects, that should be a hugely successful year. If you succeed on 100%, I think you're aiming too low.